Hello and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where in the last episode, we uncovered some more details about both the KB Security murder and the theft of the Sacred Urn from Lordy Taylor, and so now today, we are going to be combining everything we know about this case to hopefully prove my theory that Luke Adamy was actually, in fact, the murderer in the KB Security incident, and not the thief of the Sacred Urn. So we'll see how things shake out, I suppose. October 14th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. Hey, Nick! What is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? Why, you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Adamy's trial today. Detective Adamy? They say they're going to try him as mask to mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I love to see mask to mask's trial. Who? By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. It's gonna be Ron, isn't it? Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please, don't ignore me. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer. No, I'm just a poor thief. Oh, boy. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Yep, because Phoenix knows what I know. Phoenix knows what I know. Because if that trial is going on at this exact moment, then we need to convince the judge that Luke Adamy is the murderer before that trial ends. Ah, there's good old Godot. I like how I just realized I've already addressed him as good old Godot, even though I've only had one trial with him so far. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the week. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Huh. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then. Let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in the safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. I'm going to start counting. This is number one. This is number one. I'm going to start counting. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness? I'm going to count cups of coffee by ones that slide across the table. I'm going to assume that if I don't see a new one slide across, then that's still just him drinking the same cup. Okay. Okay then, let's see what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Huh, you've got guts straight. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. Okay, here we go. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd suffer the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making, and once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Oh, very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kinda hard to say. Why would you go? Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Okay. My visit to KB Security. What could possibly go wrong? Good evening, around 1 a.m. I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got ordered me to go to. Okay, I'm gonna need some more details on that one there, buddy. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. I'm also probably gonna need to ask more about why he was fired. So we'll see about that one. 1 a.m. The exact time the murder took place. Okay, this is cup number 2. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Huh, it's bitter today too. Just like my destiny.
You never know that from the way he was chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. My visit to KB. Okay. First things first. Tell me more about this blackmail letter. It ordered you to go there? It's the first time I got a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've got other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course.
Aha, why don't you say this for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should press harder? So what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, a perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait, I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, I had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Huh, a muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
Blackmail letter didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
I'm gonna press this one first. You used to be security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief, you? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject to why he was fired. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question.
I need money.
You need money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. That's like the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly high enough, so I stole data for the company.
Yeah, come again?
KB Security has lots of security info on for companies, and since I was a security chief,
you stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullet found out I was fired immediately.
What? I wish I had never asked that.
I was somehow able to cue it skewered and it made it seem like I quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to the company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse, crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of light to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Okay. Pirate company but doesn't know about that. So that's Desi doesn't know about it, which gives you perfect reason for the blackmail letter to scare you because of her. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday.
Huh? Well, what doesn't?
I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
Well, but listen to me, my Desi, she's...
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Go not.
Yes, we know, it was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight's sold company data to pay for his wife's spending habit for which he was fired. Unable to fix his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Don't talk to my wife, Desi, like that, or you'll be sorry.
Ron, you just need to shut up. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped up in just 20 minutes. It's been 9 minutes, so solid 3 out of 10 attempt. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He sold data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Okay, this is still the second coffee cup. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. Okay. Here we go.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit in the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
Okay, what would that be? I'm gonna need a little bit more details on what that is. You said if I hadn't been wearing that, but also didn't establish an actual noun to go along, or a proper noun to go along with it. I see. Something hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided a similar testimony. He said the Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Abney turned out to be the culprit himself, it was all a lie. Huh.
No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I was really attacked.
I'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client.
Oh, okay. Cup number 3. Cup number 3.
If I see any sir that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend.
You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Okay. So first things first. You're gonna need to tell me what that is that you were wearing. I'm gonna have a guess, but I need you to clarify it for the court. That, could you please clarify what you were referring to? Why, my Master Mask costume, of course.
Whoa, wait a minute. Master Mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask the Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning to me why exactly would he have done that?
Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know.
Huh? My 6 cup of coffee is staring at me.
Okay, maybe I should just be counting when. Maybe I should be counting when the coffee cup appears, because I've been counting, and the number of cups that have slid across the table. Unless he's counting ones from the first trial as well, that might be the case. That might actually be the case.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
Okay, and again, why did you bring the costume? Why are you dressed up as Master Mask? Why, because I'm Master Mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door.
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real plan to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than expected.
Took a lot longer? What?
No. Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. I got caught in the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullet's body.
Whoa, what was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean Mr. Light hid the body because he's the murderer?
Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time is really obscure.
Mr. Wright, do you not mean that you knew about this whole safe business, did you?
Well, yes.
Why are we the only one on the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. Hanging in the body and safe, it took about 10 minutes. How? Okay, wait a second. So the buzzer was pushed, right? When the buzzer was... Oh, wait, there's the record, right? Buzzer went off once at 1:02 a.m. on October 12th in the CEO's office. Okay. So, if it took you 10 minutes to put the body in the safe, how did no security members get there up until that point? Wait a second, but if he was the murderer, then... Like, if he was actually the murderer, he would have run the hell away as soon as that buzzer said, not tried to hide the body. The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. Whoa, what? If Mr. Ron Light was truly the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been hiding his way. Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. Probably had no idea there was security personnel in the building.
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as the chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend when it wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Light could have known.
Ha, again remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Light didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
That buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that? Oh. Fine, let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said that he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious, so he fainted?
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded, and that's why he thought he had time to hide the body.
So what are you trying to say?
Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked him onto the light and then pressed the buzzer. Order on the court, Mr. Wright.
This is preposterous. If it was this kid, Ron DeLight is the one who killed King Bullard.
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away, he must have...
No, because his fingerprints weren't on there. His fingerprints weren't on there. What? I need to prove the fingerprints. There were no fingerprints. I can prove... yeah, I can prove it, alright. The defendant's witnesses, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before you open your mouth.
The fact that there were absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullet had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind.
Ron DeLight obviously wiped them off.
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
Who touched that button? I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask to Mask. And Mask to Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Order! 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 Huh. It would seem... I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number Crow'd favorite blah, 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 blah.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger?
No. Wait.
What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh, you'll see.
No, I'm not. Remember what I said earlier about the freaking, about how maybe he was the person who was the security detail, and therefore pushing the buzzer to summon security would not have worked because he was the security that was supposed to be summoned. If he was in that room, he pushes the button with his gloved hands to try to frame Ron DeLight, like, hey, he pushed the button to try to call me, but I couldn't have done it. I was off stealing the sacred urn. I couldn't possibly have been there to actually push the button. So that's probably what happened here. They're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullet around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murders was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond,
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then.
Ho ho, you got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
To call a security guard. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer guarded the guard on purpose?
Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his Glock cleaned at the time.
Huh. What a touching story. You're saying the killer with a change of heart and called this guard to turn himself in?
No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, King Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron DeLight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron DeLight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLight for the murder.
Order! 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 Huh, it would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it? It was Luke Adme. Nick, you know what killer is? We're going to drag a person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but to think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night, so the killer would use him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusations, Mr. Wright.
Who was the famous to survive the life of the murder of Kane Bullard? It was Luke Adme. Detective Luke Adme. He's the only one who could have done it.
First detective.
Luke Adme?
You mean Mr. Master did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
Not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It is a capital crime and subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Adme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course, the famous detective was unmasked as, well, Master Mask.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty?
Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordy Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Adme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict as an alibi?
It's pretty smart. I mean, you can't really deny it.
You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Adme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Adme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this?
Huh. A bet's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. Well, what was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounds like... Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess.
Huh. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Adme to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:50 a.m., District Court, Court number 5. Oh, this guy.
Well, Sir Detective Adme?
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Adme, you were the one who...
You're a new judge. I don't know what voice to give a new judge.
What's enough? This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Luke Adme.
Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please!
Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this Hulzer, eh?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Adme.
Accusation? You accuse Master Mask?
That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? To be continued. Oh, it's getting good now. That was a really short trial, though. Alright. The real fight has yet to begin. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I hope to catch you all tomorrow for some more Phoenix Wright Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Goodbye.